Hey everyone, this is Mike from Mike's Do It Yourself. Today I want to show you how to change out spark plugs and spark plug wires on a 2009 Chevy Silverado. As you can see, this is 5/8, so I'll get that on there. So that's the first one that comes out, and doesn't look that bad. About 100,000 miles. We'll check the gap on that. It's right at about 65 thousandths. We'll put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads. And then once it gets in there and all the way tight, finger tight, we'll turn it about a 1/16 of a turn. Okay. Seems to be finger tight right there. So we'll go ahead and tighten it a 1/16 of a turn. Oh, guess it wasn't all the way tight. So we'll get it to where it's tight. So there, it seems to be tight. Just tighten it a little bit more. Then if you get the socket stuck in there, you can put an extension on the socket and then just rotate it and see if it comes off. If not, might need to get a wrench or some pliers on the socket and just pull it off the spark plug. The best way to do this is where the socket's attached to the extension. And then once you get it tight, you can just pull the extension on the socket. Flathead screwdriver, push this in. So once you get that clip off, there's going to be two more clips, one here and then one here, and then you can disconnect it from here. Okay, once you get all those clips opened up, and they are pretty hard to open up, especially if they've been on there a while, the best way I found was to put the flathead screwdriver right into here and then push in on it and backward, or push that way, push outward, and that will pop it open. And they may break if they've been on there a while. You can see how this one is cracked a little bit. And then this one came off another one. So they will break if they've been on a while. So once you get those off, you can route the number 1 spark plug to where it goes. Take it out of each holder. And then you should be able to lift up. Once you get the spark plug out, the spark plug wire, once you get the spark plug wire out, thing to do would be to take it to where your new ones are at and then match it up with the one that's going to fit the best with your new ones. And it looks as if the longest one might be the one that it fits with. The new one is a little bit longer, but I would say that is a pretty good match. And then we've got some dielectric grease, so we'll go ahead and put a little bit in each side of the boot here. Stick a little bit on the terminal there, a little bit inside the boot, and we'll do that for each of these. And then we can put it on the spark plug, the new spark plug first. What you're wanting to hear is a click. So as soon as it gets in there, you should hear a click. Okay, I don't know if you heard it, but it just went click. You can give it a slight tug, see if it comes off. And it's attached, it's on there. Go ahead and run the ignition wire through the holders. And then once you get your first spark plug wire back on the ignition coil pack, you can work on number 2, or in this case number 3, cylinder number 3. So if you have a spark plug boot remover, that would be the best way to get these off. Okay, so we'll check the gap on cylinder 3. It's almost to 80 thousandths. Oh, look at the wear on there too. We'll check the gap on the new one. Should be about 60. Yep, pretty close to 60. We'll put some anti-seize on the threads. Fingers tight. So you want to tighten it a 1/16 over tight when you finger tight it all the way. So let's get the socket. Okay, so we got that tight. Make sure it's not in the way of anything. And then we can remove the number 3 spark plug wire. Just remember where it's routed into what holes, what indentations. And then just lift it up off the ignition coil pack. Then we'll take the wire over here and go ahead and match it up. Yeah, it looks like it matches up to the smallest ones. So we'll go ahead and take a short one. You probably heard the click there. Pull on it. Make sure it's not coming off. Yep, that's on. And then we'll route it through the holders. Okay, you heard that click there. You can give a slight pull on it. Make sure it's in. You can see I got cylinder 5 out. So let's check that spark plug. See what the gap is on it. And that's almost 80. So that is cylinder 5. And for the new one, check it, almost 60, like it's supposed to be. Right at 60. I'll add some anti-seize for the threads. Just don't get too much on, because like I said, it will spread out. And then I went ahead and threw some dielectric grease in a new ignition wire. Once that's finger tight, we'll give it a snug with the wrench. Once you get your spark plug wire put back in on both sides, you can go ahead and put your spark plug wire in on the holders. Just snap them in. Okay, snap back into place. We've got one more holder down at the bottom. Now once you have all those snapped into place, you can look around, and I'm going to go ahead and replace this wire wrap. As you can see, it's from the heat, it's already worn away. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that, and we can move on to the other side. And I'll just go ahead and estimate. I'll use about this much, and I'll get some black electrical tape. And this stuff should be pretty soft where it'll just break apart. And then when you're doing this, just make sure you get the wire all the way in there. And you can tape it up in a couple different spots. That way it'll hold in position. You just want to open it up, push the wire in, and then just keep moving up or down. And then once you get to the ends, go ahead and tape it there. Tape it in a couple spots. Tape it on the other end. And that'll be good. Now on the passenger side, you have cylinders 2, 4, and 6. And you can see I've taken out the spark plug wires off the spark plugs. And I've removed the end pieces, or I've opened up the clips. Now on this side there's 3 clips. There's one here, there's one here, and there's one that's not easy to get to, but it's back up in here. Let's see if I can show you that with the light. It's going to be right there. And that's the hardest one to get to. But if you get a flathead screwdriver and push down on it, it will open up. And as I was checking things out over here, we do have a wire bundle that needs to be rewrapped. You can see it right here. It's starting to crumble off there, so we'll go ahead and rewrap that too while we're in here. A lot of sections, it's just crumbling. And then you'll want to do this when the engine is cool. That way it's easier to get the spark plugs out, and you're not going to burn yourself either. So we'll go ahead and start taking these out. And then if you want easier access, you can take this air cleaner tubing off here, and you can remove it from here, and you're going to have to disconnect a few things on the other side, but you can remove it from the other side, and that way you can get easier access. But I'm choosing not to because it's not that important to get to it. I mean, you're able to get to it without removing it. Okay, and I went ahead and loosened all 3 of these spark plugs, and I'm just using a bigger socket wrench to loosen them. So all 3 are loose. So there is cylinder 2 removed. Looks like it's got decent wear. Okay, we'll check the wear on number 2. And that's right at pretty close to 60 thousandths. So not much wear on cylinder 2. So we'll go ahead and check the gaps on, this is number 4 and this is number 6. So number 4, not much wear on there. And number 6, probably close to 70 thousandths. So do have some wear in cylinder number 6, and number 4, very minimal wear. So we'll put the new spark plugs in. And then after you've checked gap on those, you can go ahead and put them in. And these are at 60 thousandths, but your spark plugs may vary. And then we'll start at the spark plug and work our way all the way to the other end. All right, you hear that click? That's tight on there. And we'll run it through the holders. And number 4 matches up with the shortest spark plug wire, so we'll go ahead and use that one. And then number 4 is connected to the very back of the ignition coil pack there. So number 6 matches up with the last one we got, which is good news. I'm going to put a little bit of grease in there in the boot. And number 6 is going to be over by the driver's side. So for number 6, spark plug wire, you can see where it goes into right there. Push it down until it clicks. Okay, and give it a slight tug. Let's make sure all these other ones are in. There we go. That one wasn't in all the way. Okay, now we can close all the snaps. Now, if any of these clips break off and you think that they're not going to hold, which this one I think may fall out, you can go ahead and use a zip tie. Just zip tie it below the clip. That way it's got that metal piece to hold on to. There we go. So those wires shouldn't go anywhere. Now the other one survived, so we won't have to zip tie that one. And then the other one up top, that one's in good shape too, so we'll leave that one alone also. And just make sure you're not clipping anything but the end of the zip tie. There we go. Now before I clipped the last clip, I went ahead and loosened it a little bit around here, around the valve cover. That way the wires wouldn't be touching it. And then I can go ahead and clip that last clip. Alright, this has been Mike from Mike's Do It Yourself. Thanks for watching. Good luck on your next home or automotive project. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.